Today, alam niyo po, Filipino American History Month, and we have been doing a comprehensive timeline for the month of October here on Kababayan Today. Siyempre, hindi mawawala sa ating historya ang mga Alaskero. Okay? Para malaman ninyo po kung ano ito at kung sino sila, makakausap po natin ang isang Filipino din who was born in the Philippines and raised naman in Alaska, and now is an associate professor of psychology at the University of Alaska in Anchorage. He has 2 books, Brown Skin, White Minds, Filipino American Post-Colonial Psychology, and Internalized Oppression, the Psychology of Marginalized Groups. Kasama natin si Dr. E.J. David for Filipino American History Month. We have him on Skype today all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. Hello, Dr. David.
Hi, Giselle. Kamusta?
Oy, okay naman ako. Pag-usapan po natin, people talk about Filipinos in Hawaii, in California, in Oregon, in Washington, pero hindi alam ng lahat ng mga tao na marami palang Pilipino sa Alaska. There were, we call them Alaskeros, right? But EJ, talk to us about the Alaskeros. Why are there so many Filipino Americans in Alaska?
Yeah, of course. So as you said, there's a lot of Filipinos in Alaska, and a lot of people, even our fellow Filipinos in other parts of the United States, are not really aware of that. The history of Filipinos in Alaska actually go way back to the 1700s, the late 1700s. Just like there were Filipinos in what is now the United States of America, way back in 1587 in Morro Bay, California, there were already Filipinos in Alaska before there was an Alaska. So way back in the late 1700s, there were already Filipinos there. In Alaska. And Alaska did not become a U.S. territory until 1912 and did not become a U.S. state until 1959. And by that point, there were already a lot of Filipinos in Alaska.
Okay,
and the main reason for that...
Ano nga yung dahilan? Bakit Alaska? Ang lamig-lamig dyan.
Yeah. Well, dahil alam mo naman ng mga Pilipino, we're very, resilient, and we're very, tough, and we adapt to a lot of different things. But the main reason is because when the United States colonized the Philippines in 1898, that was really the beginning of, large-scale migration of Filipinos into the United States. We have Hawaii, California, Oregon, Washington. But then a lot of those Filipinos also moved all the way up to Alaska. And many people forget about that. Many people forget that Filipinos did not just come to the Western states. They went all the way to Alaska to work. There was a lot of salmon in Alaska, so they worked in the fishing industry.
Okay,
they helped
so in the canneries.
Yeah, in the canneries, yeah. And so, so that's the beginning of all of that. So a lot of our, kapwa Filipino na pumunta sa Hawaii and California and Washington, we need to add Alaska to that list of early Filipinos in the early 1900s. So there were already Filipinos in Alaska back then.
Okay, so the terminology Alaskero, saan galing yun?
From the Filipinos themselves, a lot of our, fellow Kababayans who moved to the United States in the early 1900s, really, they started calling themselves, Pinoys. That's where the term Pinoy actually came from. Well, those same group of people, the Manong, we call them the Manong generation, the Manongs who ended up moving up to Alaska, they wanted to distinguish themselves a little bit, and they called themselves Alaskeros. So they started that term as well.
But lastly, Dr. David, what are the issues that Filipinos in Alaska face today?
Similar to the many issues that Filipino Americans in general face, a lot of Filipinos in Alaska are going through the same things. There's, experiences of discrimination. So,
Hanggang ngayon?
That's one thing. Of course, discrimination may not be as overt and as blatant as it was before, but discrimination is still happening in very subtle, ways, and still damaging to a lot of people. So it affects their well-being. Many people experience depression. It's in Filipino America in general, but Filipino Alaska in particular. Same issues with health like hypertension, diabetes, some substance abuse. With our youth, there's some concerns about educational achievements and, potential gang memberships and all that. So the same issues. But I'd say that one of the more important issues facing Filipinos in Alaska is that despite our large numbers, again, we compose a very significant portion, a very significant percentage, and we can really have strong political clout. But yet, there's some issues that are in terms of becoming involved politically and being united.
For more information, visit Dr. David's website, www.ejrdavid.wix.com/ejrdavid. All right, Professor David, I'm so sorry we've run out of time, but thank you so much for contributing all your knowledge to Filipino American History Month.
Maraming salamat. It was a pleasure.
Okay, bibisita ako dyan sa Alaska, ha?
Please do so and give me a call when you do.
All right, maraming salamat. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that was our portion on Alaskeros here on Kababayan Today. I hope you learned something. When we return naman, it's time to learn about the cicadas on Kababayan Today for Filipino American History Month.